As a director, I see my job as sort of being the audience on set. I think shooting any film of any scale, I first decided that I wanted to use the format if I possibly could when I was about 16 years old.
Do before was to shoot the entire film that way because the cameras themselves are very loud.
That stuff is never going to move you. It's never going to excite you the same way. So really, the humanity of the story, the universal emotions. I'm always trying to keep in touch with what I need to find.
Imagine spending 3,000 years keeping a story alive, passing it down through wars, through occupations, through the near erasure of your entire language. And then a Hollywood director shows up, films it on your land using your ruins, takes millions of dollars in your government's money, and then doesn't let a single one of your people stand in front of the camera. That's not a hypothetical. That's exactly what Greece says just happened to them. And here's the part that's genuinely stunning: Christopher Nolan won't even go there. Literally, his world tour for this movie is stopping in London, Paris, Mumbai, New York, Beijing, Seoul, everywhere, except Greece. The one country this entire story belongs to. So today we're asking the question Hollywood is desperately hoping nobody asks out loud. If a $200 million movie can take a nation's history, its land, its money, and erase its people, what does representation actually mean anymore? Because Greece just answered that question themselves, and their response is brutal.
So after 20 years, what took you so long?
Now I can get something made that I couldn't otherwise get made on a big, modern, cinematic canvas. Something that hasn't been done. There's so much in it for everybody.
Will we have to wait another 3 years for your next masterpiece?
Oh, at least.
Stay till the end, because this gets worse. Nolan's The Odyssey was shot on 70mm IMAX film across 7 countries, including Greece, Morocco, Italy, and Iceland. The Greek government didn't just allow the filming. Reporting indicates Greece's culture ministry approved a reported euro 6.5 million in subsidies to help make it happen, treating the production as a national investment in tourism and culture. So Greece opened its doors. Greece gave money. Greece gave its landscapes, its ruins, its light, and in return, not one major role in the principal cast went to a Greek or Greek-American actor. Let that sink in for a second. Matt Damon plays Odysseus. Tom Holland plays Telemachus. Anne Hathaway plays Penelope. Zendaya plays Athena. Charlize Theron plays Circe or Calypso, depending who you ask. Robert Pattinson, Jon Bernthal, John Leguizamo, Benny Safdie, over 30 confirmed actors, and reportedly not a single one of Greek descent in a lead role. Not one. This is where the story stops being a rumor and starts being a movement, because it wasn't just a few angry tweets, it was an entire nation's press finding one voice. Greek City Times, one of the biggest English-language Greek news outlets, didn't just complain online. They published an open letter addressed directly to Nolan's team and to Hollywood, and the language in it is sharp enough to sting. The core message: Greek culture didn't freeze in marble 2,000 years ago. Greek people are still here, still speaking the language, still living the story, and yet somehow, in a movie built entirely from their mythology, they don't exist in front of the camera. And here's the part that should make Hollywood extremely uncomfortable. The letter isn't asking for exclusion. It isn't rejecting reinterpretation or diversity. It's making the opposite point, the one nobody in Hollywood wants to hear out loud. If representation and cultural authenticity are the rules the industry insists on for everyone else, why do those rules disappear the second the culture in question is Greek? That question alone is enough to make studio executives sweat. But it gets messier. Because let's be honest about what really lit the fuse. The casting decision generating the most noise is Lupita Nyong'o. confirmed in a major role tied to Helen of Troy and Clytemnestra. Nyongo responded to the backlash by calling the film a mythological story and saying the cast is representative of the world. That answer did not calm anyone down. If anything, it poured gasoline on the fire, because critics immediately went digging through her own past comments.
I really appreciated that Chris was also interested in knowing who Helen was. Many versions of it, right? Invited me to choose the version that worked best for what he had written and established her backstory together, and trusts his actors with experts for the character that he bestows to them.
Comments where she praised Black Panther specifically for respecting African specificity, for refusing to treat an entire continent as one interchangeable culture. So now the internet is asking one brutal question: why does that standard disappear the moment it's Greece's turn? And it's not just film critics asking. Elon Musk weighed in publicly, criticizing the casting online, and that single post reportedly threw even more fuel on a fire that was already burning out of control. When a story crosses over from entertainment forums into global political commentary, that's usually a sign it's not going away quietly. Then there's Elliot Page. Early reports claimed he was cast as Achilles, the most legendary Greek warrior in the entire epic, which set off a firestorm about historical accuracy and casting choices overnight. It later emerged his actual role is Sinon, the Greek soldier behind the Trojan horse deception. Doesn't matter. By the time the correction landed, the damage and the discourse was already everywhere, and it hasn't slowed down since. On top of all that, Nolan chose to adapt this using Emily Wilson's 2017 translation, a version widely praised in academic circles for its modern, accessible language and its move away from older, more patriarchal readings of the text. Fine on its own, but combined with everything else, it's become one more data point in the argument that this Odyssey was reimagined from the ground up, everything reinterpreted, except somehow the one thing critics say should have mattered most: the people the story actually belongs to. Now, before you assume this is a one-sided pile-on, it isn't. And that's exactly what makes this worth watching closely. Daniel Mendelsohn, a respected classicist with his own acclaimed translation of The Odyssey, actually pushed back on the outrage. He called the fixation on Nyongo particularly silly, pointing out how small Helen's actual role is in the poem itself, and argued the casting was a deliberate, provocative choice tied to the myth's own themes about beauty. Greece's own culture minister, Lina Mendoni, defended the government's decision to fund the film, saying flatly that art cannot be censored. So you've got two completely different battles happening at once, colliding in real time. One is about representation and who gets to tell whose story. The other is about whether this backlash is fair scrutiny or outrage culture chasing its next target. Both sides are convinced they're obviously right. And that tension is exactly why this story refuses to die down. Meanwhile, the box office world is watching all of it play out live. Trailer dislikes have reportedly climbed past 350,000, making it one of Nolan's most disliked trailers ever. Audience interest tracking has dropped sharply since the controversy started, and yet ticket scalpers are still charging up to $10,000 for 70 mm IMAX screenings, so clearly the demand hasn't disappeared, it's just gotten complicated. Box office tracking currently puts the film between $80 and $100 million for opening weekend, actually ahead of where Nolan's own Oppenheimer was tracking at the same point. So this isn't a movie that's flopping. It's a movie that's about to make a fortune while the exact people whose culture it's built on are publicly saying they were shut out. That contradiction is the whole story. The conversation around this movie right now isn't about Nolan's craft anymore. It's about who got left out of his version of one of the oldest stories on Earth. And through all of it, Nolan himself has said nothing. Not a single public statement addressing the Greek City Times letter. Not a comment on the missing Athens stop. Nothing. Just silence. While the story keeps growing louder every single day leading up to release, and every day he stays quiet, it grows a little louder. One of the most respected directors alive, telling one of the oldest stories in human history. And the one thing he hasn't figured out how to direct is his own response. So here's the real question this whole controversy comes down to. Is this fair criticism of a director who used a country's history without including its people? Or is this outrage culture finding a new target right before a blockbuster release? I want to know where you land. Drop a comment below and tell me, should Nolan have cast Greek actors in the lead roles? Or does mythology belong to everyone regardless of heritage? Because right now, the internet is split down the middle, and I'm reading every single comment on this one, so don't hold back. If this video kept you hooked, smash that like button. And subscribe so you don't miss the next update the second Nolan or the Greek government finally responds. Because this story is nowhere near finished. See you in the next one.